Blood seeped from Thaddeus Bell's chest, staining the cracked desert ground as he dragged himself behind a boulder. 3 bullets were lodged deep in his ribs, and the metallic taste in his mouth confirmed what he already knew: he was dying, and fast. Just 20 minutes earlier, he'd been riding through Apache territory when 5 outlaws ambushed him, drawn by the $500 bounty on his head. He'd taken down 4 of them, but their leader had pumped enough lead into Thaddeus to ensure his end. His horse was gone, his canteen punctured with 3 holes, and the nearest town lay 15 miles away through hostile desert. Pressing his back against the rock, Thaddeus felt his life ebbing with each labored breath. His vision blurred as he scanned the horizon, fighting to stay conscious. Then he saw it, a wooden cross silhouetted against the blazing afternoon sun, about 200 yards ahead. It wasn't a grave marker, something was moving on it. Forcing himself to crawl forward, each movement sent lightning through his chest, but he kept going, leaving a crimson trail in the sand. As he drew closer, his blood ran cold. A young Indigenous girl, maybe 16, was tied to the cross. Her dark hair hung over her face, her wrists bound with rawhide to the crossbeam, her feet barely touching the ground. Above her head, a piece of paper was nailed to the wood. Even from 50 yards, Thaddeus could make out the crude charcoal letters, "Leave me if you're not ready." The girl's head lifted slightly, and their eyes met across the desert. She wasn't crying or screaming, she watched him with a calm that chilled him more than any desert wind. It was as if she'd been waiting for him specifically. Thaddeus, a man hardened by 30 years of violence, felt something twist in his gut, unrelated to his wounds. This wasn't just cruelty, it was a test, one that would reveal what he was truly made of when everything else was stripped away. He thought of his sins, the lives he'd taken, the chances for redemption he'd ignored. Now, minutes from death, life had given him one final choice. The message burned in his mind: leave me if you're not ready. Ready for what? To die saving someone else? To use his last breath for something decent? To prove a killer could find redemption? As he tried to stand, his legs buckled, and he collapsed face first into the sand. When he looked up, his heart stopped. 3 Apache warriors sat motionless on horseback in the shade of a mesa, 500 yards beyond the cross. They'd been watching the entire time. His mind raced. This wasn't an outlaw's trap, the Apache had placed the girl on the cross themselves. The message wasn't from bandits, it was from her people. They were testing whoever found her. Thaddeus forced himself onto his elbows, studying the warriors. They carried rifles, not just bows, modern weapons signaling discipline and organization. They could have killed him already, but they hadn't. They wanted him alive to make his choice. The girl's lips moved, her voice barely reaching him. Fighting dizziness, he crawled closer. At 30 yards, he heard her accented English: "My name is Ayana. I chose this." He froze. "I chose this," she repeated louder. "My people need to know if the white man can still choose honor over comfort. I volunteered to be the test." Her words hit like a blow. This wasn't an execution, it was a ritual to measure a man's character. Thaddeus rasped, "What does the message mean?" Ayana's dark eyes locked onto his. "It means you decide what kind of man you want to die as. Leave me, and pass on peacefully. Save me, and it will cost everything you have left." Thaddeus's vision darkened as blood loss gripped him. He had minutes left. The smart choice was to stay hidden, let death take him quietly, and avoid the Apache's trap. But Ayana's eyes, fearless, filled with a strange hope, held him. She believed he was different. He crawled again, each inch agony, as the Apache watched like silent judges. At 30 yards from the cross, he heard hoofbeats behind him. Twisting his neck, pain tearing through him, he saw 2 white riders emerge from a dust cloud. They weren't Apache, desert-hardened men, likely bounty hunters. The leader, Pike, was tall with graying hair and cold blue eyes. His younger companion, Crawford, radiated nervous energy. Both were armed, their faces marked by the look of killers. Pike dismounted, hand on his pistol. "Well, well," he said, his voice carrying across the desert. "Looks like we got a situation." Crawford, still mounted, drew his rifle. "That's Belle, ain't it? The bounty?" Pike nodded. $500, dead or alive?" "Looks like dead's coming soon." Thaddeus tried to speak but coughed blood. Pike studied the scene, the girl, the cross, the message. Interesting setup. Apache girl strung up, Thaddeus Bell crawling like a dying hero. "You having a religious moment, Bell?" Crawford laughed nervously. "What's that sign say, Pike?" "Don't matter," Pike replied. "What matters is a dying man, a helpless girl, and no witnesses for miles." Thaddeus whispered, "The Apache, they're watching." Pike glanced at the mesa, unperturbed. "They're keeping their distance. This display means more to them than scalps." Pike raised his pistol. "I'm putting you out of your misery, collecting my bounty, then Crawford and I will have fun with that Indian princess." But Ayana's voice cut through, calm and certain, "Touch me, and your bloodline dies screaming." Pike froze. Ayana continued, "I am the daughter of Chief Naeli of the Chiricahua. Those warriors are my brothers. This is a sacred ceremony. Interfere, and they'll hunt your families forever." Crawford's rifle wavered. "Pike, maybe we should go." Pike snapped, "Shut up," but doubt crept into his eyes. Thaddeus seized the moment, lunging for Pike's ankle. Pike stumbled, his shot going wide. The gunshot echoed, and the Apache began advancing, not charging, but moving with deliberate menace, rifles ready. Pike kicked free, aiming again, but Crawford shouted, "Pike, they're coming." Thaddeus dragged himself to the cross, fingers fumbling at the rawhide binding Ayana's feet. "The test isn't freeing me," she whispered. "It's whether you'll try, knowing it costs everything, your life, your peace." Pike backed toward his horse, gun still on Thaddeus. "Get away from her, Bell." Crawford, mounting up, urged, "Pike, we need to go." Pike's pride flared. "No Indian girl threatens me, and no half-dead outlaw plays hero." As Thaddeus worked the knot, Pike barked, "Crawford, kill them all." Crawford's rifle cracked, the bullet splintering the cross above Ayana's head. Thaddeus freed her feet just as Pike's pistol swung toward him. Time slowed. Crawford's second shot whizzed past as Thaddeus, impossibly, felt strength surge through him. Not desperation, but something deeper. He tackled Pike, the bullet meant for his head hitting sand. Pike's head struck a rock, and he went still. Thaddeus grabbed Pike's pistol, rolling behind the cross. "Ayana, run to your brothers." "No," she said firmly. "This was never about saving me, it was about saving you." Crawford's third shot missed as the Apache closed in, their war cries echoing. Thaddeus freed Ayana's wrists. "You're not dying anymore," she said, dropping beside him. He looked at his chest, no blood, no pain. "How?" he gasped. Ayana smiled. "You chose to die for another. Sometimes, that changes everything." Crawford appeared, rifle aimed at Ayana. "Don't move." Thaddeus raised Pike's pistol, calm. "You don't want this, son." Crawford's hands shook. "I need that bounty, my sister's sick." Thaddeus replied, "Find another way." The desert transformed, light softened, wind carried a musical hum. Ayana explained, "This is a gateway between worlds, where choices echo through eternity." Crawford's rifle dropped. "I can't do this." He fled as the Apache approached, weapons lowered in respect. The eldest warrior dismounted, speaking to Ayana in their tongue, then to Thaddeus in English, "You were dead, but your choice brought you back. This is powerful medicine. What will you do with your second chance?" Thaddeus felt his past dissolve. "I want to build, not destroy. The warrior handed him the paper from the cross. It now read, "Welcome home, protector of the innocent." Ayana led him to a hidden canyon, a sanctuary for guardians. "This is your home now," she said. "You'll protect those who come here seeking redemption." As night fell, Thaddeus understood. Thaddeus Bell, the killer, was dead. In his place stood a protector, ready to guide others through their own tests in this sacred desert.